Happy Saturday, Stampers. This is Jenny from Celebrate the Journey, and I'm joining you on Crazy Crafters today. This is our last Christmas in July presentation. It's kind of sad to know that it's over with, but it's okay. We'll be back. So I think we're planning to be back the first weekend in September, so you might mark your calendar. We'll post that for sure once we make up our mind, but I hope you'll remember. So this is our last one for today. You have until tomorrow at 3-ish to post your mystery cards from Cindy, and sometime later this afternoon, depending on where you are, either around 2 or 4 or 3, depending on where you live in the country, 2, 3, 4, 5, we'll post the winners of the door prizes. So double check and see if you've been one of the lucky ones. Don't forget, if you place an order with your demonstrator, you'll get something free also, a little treat in the mail. Thanks, Anne. We've enjoyed doing this so far. So let's see what kind of mess I come up with today. So this is an online exclusive. It's called So Very Merry, and it is simple. It doesn't have, well, it does match the punch. If you want to use the 2 3/8 punch, you can do that. But everything else, if you wanted it, would have to be fussy cut. Let me get my water. But we don't mind fussy cutting. We all have the, I shouldn't say we all have, most of us have layering circles and stylish shapes. And then this one, you could even, the little gingerbread house, you could cut out with a square or an oval or a circle, depending on what you want. So you'll notice these are stained glass, and so I wanted to show you how to make a super simple one with stained glass. Now, you know, you could stamp on vellum, you could use Stays-On and stamp on the window sheet, but we're going to stamp on basic white, but we're still going to make it look like glass. So this is a fun little technique, and this is a fairly simple card that you could replicate. So let's see, let's get started on this. Now we are going to have to do a little coloring today, and that's okay. I'm thinking about which one of these is my color piece. I always end up coloring on my inside piece, and I try to keep myself from doing that, because it doesn't make much sense. So here's our color piece, and the first one we're going to do is Santa here. So we're going to stamp him with Memento. You're going to have to watch me do a little coloring, but I think because these are that stained glass look, and they're pretty large areas, they color pretty fast. So that'd be something you could stamp a bunch of these and have them ready, and you could color them while you're watching TV. So we're going to use red because, of course, Santa's red. And I've got light red, real red, and dark real red. So let's see what we'll start with. His little hat. And it works best if you use the 2 shades, because stained glass, all the glass is not all the same. Can't think of the word, hue. So sometimes they're, whoop, well, that was strange. Let's get a different one. Went flying across the room. So different hues of red. And with our blends, then you can accomplish that easily. I'm not doing so good with my markers today. I keep dropping them here. Let's see. Oh, this is also his shoulder. And you know, I don't know why I'm worrying about going over the lines because they're black, but I guess habit. So now we have Santa. I'm gonna do his bag in shades of yellow. Hi Iris, Claudia, Karen. I'm glad you guys are in the Christmas spirit. Thanks for joining us. Nancy and Rosalind, you're all here today too. Great. So let's do dark lemon lolly. You know that's my new favorite color of yellow. I've been wishing for a pretty yellow for years. So if we're patient and wait a long time, our wishes come true, don't they? Now we'll do light lemon lolly. Now this part, I can't talk and color at the same time. That's sad, isn't it? This little part right there, I think that's part of his beard showing through, you know, from his hand to the bag. So I'm leaving that blank, but we are going to do a little bit of his hand with some crumb cake. His glove is going to be crumb cake. I imagine his gloves really are black, but I wanted crumb cake. Now our sky is going to be pool party. So I have light and dark. I think I can use the big ends on most of these. The big tip. And it's just random which ones you want to be light and which one's dark. Not necessarily every other one. Then we'll do our dark pool party. I do enjoy coloring. Well, this one seems a little frayed. Let's see if our other one has a better tip. They do wear out. And I love coloring, so mine wear out after a while. You can save the worn out ones to do little flicks of color on your card. You know, coloring with the short strokes gives you a more natural look. And you can always go back over it. Almost there. I heard Claudia talking about losing things. I can lose it right on my desk, and it's right in front of me. I guess we're all like that. Especially with the more stuff we get out, then our desk gets fuller and fuller, full of stuff. Now his little face, we'll use ivory. I think I am going to use the fine tip for this. What do you think, that little pom-pom? Do you think that's part of his fur? I guess we'll leave it like that. Leave it white. I'm not... Surely that's not his ear. Oops, but doesn't need a white nose, does he? He could have a pink nose. And we'll just give him a little bit of pink on his cheeks. It should just blend right in and not. Just give it a little tone on tone. Of course, you know, we have to add some Wink of Stella now. On his hat. And his little pom-pom. Yeah, that came out kind of pretty, didn't it? Pretty quick. Now we want to make this look like glass. And you've seen me do this before. Maybe, maybe not. We're going to put an adhesive sheet on top of him. I should have trimmed this in the paper trimmer, but I didn't think about it until the last minute to get it out of the closet. Now what we're going to do is put an adhesive sheet on, and we're going to cover it with a window sheet. And then it will look more glass-like. I like the online exclusives too. I think what we were afraid of with this was that we wouldn't have enough ideas. But guess what? We're all smart and we can make a lot of ideas. We can do our own. So I only need a little piece here for at the bottom. Change is hard, and changing over from being dependent on a catalog as to looking online, that's new for us. But that's how we all shop on Amazon and Talbot's or any of those stores. So we should be able to do it on Stampin' Up. I'm going to make sure this is on here good. And then we'll pull our adhesive sheet off. Now, if you're going to do this and use the punch, it's pretty thick. So you might want to consider, I'm using the die. You know, this does not like that Wink of Stella on there. We'll see if we can't get it to come off without making a mess. I don't want to have to do this again. Oh, there, that's it. Now when we put the window sheet on there, it's going to be fine. So now, I wonder why it doesn't like Wink of Stella. It actually gives a little texture look there, so that's kind of nice. Now we have a stained glass window. Do you remember the days we used to do this with packing tape? You could still do that, but I love the thickness of the window sheet. So now we're going to cut this out with a die. And I think, yeah, that's the layering circles. Let's see, I need a piece of tape here. Now, you might have seen me do this on the Brood for You. I did the beer steins with the window sheet, so it made it look like it was a glass of beer. You could do that with Bottled Happiness. I don't know, any of the ones that maybe you want it to look like glass. Oh, the So Refreshing, and then your picture of lemonade would look like glass. So we'll run this through the cut and emboss. And now we've got our stained glass window. That looks pretty shiny, doesn't it? Nice and shiny. Now, I, of course, went ahead and pre-cut some circles and papers and everything for this, because we're going to just put this together real quick. So I'm going to put it on black, because usually a window has either, you know, the lead. You could use smoky slate, but we'll use black. All right, I have a question for you. How many of you have gone online and ordered the Slay DSP, the new DSP that we've all been using? You need to confess. And then we're going to layer this on red. It sure is stunning paper, isn't it? This is our inside piece. So, speaking of that paper, we're going to use the back side of one of these. Now, it hurt to cut this and use the back side, but I wanted that color, and I figured it was okay. I love Real Red and Coastal Cabana, and then a little bit of Pool Party mixed in. I think those are some of my favorite Christmas colors. But if you want to use this, you can just order more paper if you if you need to. So we'll go ahead and, I told you this was going to be an easy card. Once you get it all started and cut, these are all standard measurements. Now we've got the sentiment in this set that's "'Tis the season to be jolly." And I've already stamped that one for you. We'll go ahead and put it on Coastal Cabana. This is an all-inclusive stamp set, isn't it? Just use the sentiments they gave us. And we'll put that, yeah, right about there. That's close enough. Doesn't have to be exact. Do you know I haven't used any ribbon on my cards this time? I thought about looking in the drawer to find something, but then I decided we just wouldn't do that today. And we'll put this on with some dimensionals just to give it a lift. We can find the dimensionals here. Now, as Claudia was talking about, this would be a good mass-produced card because it's all standard measurements. You're not having to worry about intricate cuts. There's our little Santa. And we're going to put an inside piece. I pulled out just Merry Christmas from Brightest Glow, I think. So I did need an inside sentiment for this one. And I thought I would go put, where is it? I don't see it in front of me. The bells. Maybe I didn't. Oh, I didn't put them on a stamp. Thought we'd put the bells in the corner. And we can color those quickly with yellows. Now, if you were putting this on a white base card, you would not want to do that because these blends do bleed through. So you want it, because I'm layering this, I can go ahead and do that. And not worry about it showing on the back of my card. Wonder what color we should do the little clapper. I don't have that dark color out. We'll just leave it yellow. This is tiny. I'll switch to the fine point here. Little bitty pieces. Now this one's light, so now I can go in with dark. I'm glad you guys have chosen to spend some time with us this weekend. We appreciate it. Make sure if you have friends that aren't on here, you can invite them. We'll approve them. Because the more people we have, the more exciting it is. Looks like I need to color that little bit of yellow. Maybe I missed it. This stained glass looks really pretty. And it's different. And I have a little scrap of that piece left. I can put down there too. I don't want to waste our paper. Now that's a pretty simple card. We're going to put some snowflakes on it though, I think. That's part of the suite, of the online suite in the store. So let's see if we can put some snowflakes on the front. You could always put rhinestones or... And I think the snowflakes would be kind of cute. Haven't even opened these. Ooh, I wonder if you could put a rhinestone in the middle of a snowflake. That would be different, wouldn't it? Let's get this glue put together here so I don't make a mess. And let's see what we need here to get these snowflakes. And then there's a small, medium, and large. I think I will put a little rhinestone in the middle. Let's see, I had to... Just the little one in the middle. Yeah, that makes it pop, doesn't it? Now remember, if you're going to use the window sheet, you need to use a die, because I think it honestly might break your punch. My hands were not strong enough to do it because I tried it. So because it's the window sheet and the paper, it's just too thick. So use a die and it will cut out perfectly. So there's our shiny stained glass window. Doesn't that come out cute? Okay, so that's one card. And now my next card's a little out of the box here. This is not an online exclusive, but it's an online only product. And it's called Brushed Metallic. This to me looks like Calypso Coral. And then this is like Lost Lagoon and Pool Party. And when I was looking around for ideas for Christmas, I thought, this is Christmas. So we're going to use that. I think it was initially from the desert set, something about the desert, and I suppose they had extras left over. I'm not real sure. how that worked. So we're going to make a side step, a side tower card. And here's our card with the angel and that pretty paper. Now these are easy to make, so I'll walk you through it and you'll get to see how it works. I have the measurements ready for you. They're a little different, so you need to pay attention to that, because this is 5.5 by 8 1/4. You're going to cut 1/4 off of that, so that it will still fit in your envelope. And then you're going to score 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll get your tower. And then we'll have our little box on there. We can go ahead and I think it's easier to put your layers on here before you put it together. So that's what we're going to do. Now these are tiny little layers, I will say that. So this is Lost Lagoon, and then I have Pool Party and the DSP. And so these are 3/4 of an inch, and then 5/8 of an inch, I believe. So they are tiny little pieces, but we can do it. I really think putting this together flat is probably a little easier than trying to put this on the tower. This just looks like stained glass Christmas to me. In my mind, I don't know. Of course, we all have different thoughts, don't we? This one looks like I might have cut it a little wonky. I won't make sure that one's on the inside where you don't notice it being a little off. And there's one more here. I think when you cut these tiny pieces, it's easy for the paper to slide on you. Now, this one will be here, so it's really just there for the color effect. So the fact that it's a little wonky, you'll be okay. Put that. And you know, really, you could just put the paper on the front of the tower, but I think it looks a little more polished to have all sides of the tower with some design on them. It'd be really fun to do this kind of card with a whole bunch of different colors. The tower card. Oh, I don't have this piece on my desk. Maybe I did, or maybe I'm just not seeing it. I guess not. I guess I'll have to cut that. It's in my, there's the Pool Party. I just need to cut the piece out of the blue. Must not have been paying attention. So we need this. is 3 by 5 1/4. So this actually is a little too big. I must have gotten distracted. Actually, this is 3 by 5 1/4, so the other one needs to be a tiny bit less. Two and 7/8 and 5 1/8. And now that layer there, and that will be our back panel. Probably when the video's over, I'll look over and this piece will be right there waiting on me. You know, that's pretty normal, isn't it? This one will go right there. Now we're going to use tear and tape to hold the tower together, just because I think it gives it a little extra stickability to keep your tower straight and tall. Well, I don't see my tear and tape, so we'll have to use glue. But it will work. Now you want that to hit right up on the wall of your tower. Now we've got our tower card. And we need a bridge, and then we have the layer on the bridge, and I'm going to run this through the music embossing folder. Just to give it, I think the music folder goes with Christmas, don't you? Well, let's see if we can't find that music folder. Here it is. And we want it this direction, the tall way. You could almost make your card be like, doesn't want to stand up though, does it? Just looking at that. Now, I don't know about what's up and what's down on these music notes, but I will say they didn't put a staff on there to confuse us, so I think it's probably okay to just put them how you want. Okay, so now we've got our little bridge that's going to go here, and this is the hardest part, is putting this part of the card together. And it's still not super hard. We'll put a little Tombow here. And a little here. Keep our little, now take a pencil or your bone folder, push this down. So the Tombow gets all smoothed out there. And now our card will, let's fold up. We gotta move it a little bit. Yeah. And fold up and fit in your envelope. So now we're ready to put our angel on here. So we're gonna stamp, I think we need a bigger piece than that. Stamp our angel, do a little coloring. I don't think I have her out. These fit perfectly on a D block. You do need to make sure you ink this up good. Or you can, if you still use your Stamparatus like I do, you'd be able to stamp it more than once if you needed to. And now we'll put our little angel, we'll get her going. There's my tearing tape right here in front of me. I told you. It's scary. She's going to have the sun shining through here. This is Lemon Lolly again. This part here is a little, you have to spend a little time paying attention to where is her wings and where is her dress. Once you figure it out, it's not hard. We're not going to put window sheet on her. We're just going to leave her plain today. But she sure would be pretty with some shine on her, I think. It's kind of relaxing to sit here and color. And then her wings we're going to leave white, of course. But I've got Pool Party for her dress. This is that frayed one, I think. I need to mark it so I don't pick it up again. But these large areas color up pretty fast. It's really nice to see how our colors work so well together. I don't know, I would have thought about Lost Lagoon and Pool Party together, but they look good. We're going to go around the little border with Lost Lagoon. So she won't need a frame. She won't need a black frame. Wonder how if these would be easy to watercolor. I am not good at that, but maybe I could try. Sometimes we have to learn new techniques. It might be too tiny for watercoloring. She's framed up nicely. Now she needs some hair and she needs some skin. We're going to put her skin with ivory. And I think the hair is pecan pie. Let's check and see. Yeah, her hair can be pecan pie. Now we're almost done now. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the Sentiment Joy. We can die cut both of those at the same time. And it is stamped with Lost Lagoon. The yellow would be pretty, but I don't think it'd be dark enough. So we need to die cut her. Definitely could use the punch on this one, but since I have the dies here, we'll use that. And then here's my little Joy. This is the stitched, so stylish shapes and layering circles. We're mix and matching today. Mixy-matchy. Now this is the rose gold paper. If you have copper, that would work, but if you have leftover, we don't sell copper anymore. I thought the gold was a little too harsh. It didn't match the paper quite the way I wanted it to. So the rose gold worked for me. So now that I found my tearing tape, we can put that little angel on there with tearing tape. Sometimes I wish you guys could holler and say, it's on your desk, look, look. Look to the right. I talk to videos all the time, but they don't hear me. That gives that a nice little frame. Now we can put this on with our dimensionals. And we'll just put one dimensional on that side. That's true. If they are looking at the notes and worrying about if they're up or down, except that we have had, like a stamp I think that we had, it was very obvious if it was upside down because it had the treble clef on there. And so it's better that they leave that off so people that don't know music won't mess up. Now, do you see how I put glue on that side and a dimensional that way, and that'll keep everything level. And if you haven't fallen in love with these sparkle gems, you need to get them because they're great. And I can just see I can see these black ones working for Halloween. And if you lay them on brown, they'll work fine for Thanksgiving. And then we have this little champagne coppery color and silver. And we're going to use the champagne. These are called sparkle gems. And we need a big one here. Small one. Obviously, I've used a lot of this color on my cards. I have to switch. Make a blue and silver card, I can use these. So now our back piece is just a regular where you can sign. I'm going to do the Peace and Joy. And I'm going to put it right there because I think it's a little different. And now I'm not going to glue this down because I'm definitely going to cut a piece of this to go at the bottom. I want to be able to do that first. So there's our two cards using So Very Merry. Let me move my stuff out of the way. All this glitter. And I love this fold. I've used it quite a bit because I like cards that stand up. And then this is a nice one for mass production. Kind of simple, but that's what we need. And I have one more to show you. If you bought the if you already owned Ring with Nature, Then with all our new colors, you can make a totally different Christmas card from last year with Bubble Bath, Berry Burst, Lost Lagoon, and those pretty little sequins, the sequin trios, and that new Lost Lagoon shimmer paper. So those are 3 cards you can get started on for the holidays. Don't forget though, a new catalog will be coming out in September, and so it should have some nice holidays themed products that you'll want to use. But if you send a lot of cards, we send a lot of cards, you'll want to go ahead and get started on yours now, so that when the new catalog comes out, you'll be able to get caught up. Well, thanks for joining us this past 2 days, and we appreciate it. Stop back in an hour or two to see if you won a door prize, and post your mystery card by 3 o'clock Eastern Time on Sunday. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you later.